at India's politics for the last decade or so, one party's journey makes for a very interesting case study. The Aam Aadmi Party, led by Arvind Kejriwal. Born out of the Anna Hazare-led India Against Corruption movement, AAP began as a party with a difference, or so they claimed. They claimed to be different from the BJP or Congress, and that it was a party that represented a different brand of politics. One that was clean, honest, transparent, and of course, for the Aam Aadmi or common man. The party, helmed by former IRS officer in Arvind Kejriwal, was seen as a breath of fresh air in India's complex political landscape. Aam Aadmi Party found instant electoral success. It formed the government in the national capital of Delhi in 2013. And suddenly, Arvind Kejriwal, the muffler man traveling around in his Wagoner, had announced his arrival in electoral politics. The Aam Aadmi Party then went on to win the Delhi Assembly elections in 2015 and 2020 with a thumping majority. And they also managed to win Punjab in the year 2022, with Bhagwant Mann becoming the Chief Minister of Punjab. The Aam Aadmi Party was credited with changing the education and healthcare system of Delhi and bringing about a Delhi model of governance. But over the years, the Aam Aadmi Party seems to have deviated from its original plank and is facing the harsh realities of being a mainstream political party. Many of their top leaders, including Yogendra Yadav, Prashant Bhushan, and Ashutosh, quit within a few years. The Aam Aadmi Party has been accused of being run in an autocratic fashion, with Arvind Kejriwal imposing his will, then have a consultative process. The party of the common man and its leader faced scrutiny over allegations of massive corruption as well. There are questions over the ideology of the AAP as well. What does it stand for? Where does it stand on the ideological scale? And some of the contentious and contemporary issues in India. That and a lot more factors resulted in the party's crushing defeat in the 2025 Delhi Assembly elections. The BJP is now at the helm of affairs in Delhi. And suddenly, Kejriwal, who was once positioning himself as a national alternative to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, stands at a crossroads. And so does his party. A new book takes a look at the Aam Aadmi Party's journey so far. It's titled The Aam Aadmi Party, The Untold Story of a Political Uprising and Its Undoing. It is published by Juggernaut Books and written by Sayantan Ghosh. He's a journalist, political commentator, and someone who has tracked the Aam Aadmi Party closely, and he currently teaches journalism at St. Xavier's College in Kolkata. Today we had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Ghosh on the journey of the Aam Aadmi Party and what lies ahead for this party. It's an interesting conversation, so do watch it till the end. Hello and welcome, I'm Shubham Chohan. Let's get started.
What I gathered is that the main problem was Anna was very egoistic as a person. Okay, and he was also a kind of a person who's what we call like adamant in several issues, and that is why Kejriwal was a bit reluctant about and also you can say skeptical about taking him and making him the face of the Andolan. What they were trying to do politically, if you ask me, what I believe, the politically what they were trying to do, one, to create a massive or the larger narrative against anti-corruption, trying to provide support to any person, to any popular person who is making, who is organizing any kind of movement in that particular issue. In my understanding, what I found out from the insiders, that RSS was very much there, but they were not in the decision-making process. They were out of the decision-making process, but they were very much visible, and that is why Prashant Bhushan ji, then I have mentioned Yogendra ji, they protested against it. That this kind of visual optics of presence of support of Baba Ramdev, Sri Ravi Shankar is not sending a good message. Any alliance between Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party cannot happen. On the ground, it cannot happen.
Right, and that's the thing that Kejriwal often gets. Isn't he becoming the B team of the Bharatiya Janata Party in a way? After the Delhi riots in 2020, the Aam Aadmi Party, it was election time. The Aam Aadmi Party consciously decided to stay away from taking a stance on this, saying that they will focus on development instead. But how does one justify this ideology? But you call it flexibility. Won't it be won't it be right to call it opportunism as well? Because you are then sort of deciding selectively with your strategic silence on what issues to weigh in and what issues to not. Wouldn't that be opportunism on part of Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party?
Of course, in my perspective, I think it's better for the Aam Aadmi Party to focus back on Delhi. Focus back on Delhi. And
Right.
Kejriwal is needed in Delhi.
Mr. Ghosh, thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking with us. Firstly, congratulations on this wonderful book that is really a breeze. You know, it takes us through the history of the Aam Aadmi Party, and which really is a very interesting case study. If you just look at Indian politics in the last decade and a half, and how the party has added a new dimension in this complex political landscape of India. So, firstly, congratulations on that. Let's start from the very beginning, and I want to go back to the India Against Corruption movement. 2010, 2011, I was still a child, and I remember seeing all of this unfold on TV. But you've started your book with that about the genesis of the Aam Aadmi Party, which was the India Against Corruption movement. The whole Anna Hazare bit where he's leading the Andolan, and you have Kejriwal, and you have Manish. So there's so many
Right.
faces who are there with Anna Hazare as the brand ambassador. Now, you write that this movement was a brainchild of Kejriwal, and initially he had approached people like Ramdev, Shishi Ravi Shankar to be the face of their demand of this Jan Lokpal. And initially, in fact, he was reluctant to have someone like Hazare on board because of perceived ego issues. But then eventually, it happens. You know, Anna Hazare comes on board. The India Against Corruption movement gains a lot of traction. The topi becomes a fashion sense. This equation of Anna Hazare and Arvind Kejriwal, you're right, becomes like a guru shishya sort of equation. So how did this Kejriwal Hazare equation play out in the initial years, given that you write that Kejriwal was initially hesitant of having Anna Hazare on board over ego issues?
Right. So a lot of, as you just mentioned, that it is the time we are talking about. It's not recent times. It's long ago. So majority of these things are out of my research and talking to the people who were present there. So first of all, the time we are talking about, which is the India Against Corruption movement, the time we are talking about, everything was new that point of time, right? The entire planning of the movement, nobody knew how the movement will be, the outcome of the movement, nobody knew that. So that is why, though there were, so now we are talking about two different people. One is Anna Hazare, one is Arvind Kejriwal. The time we are talking about, though not as Aam Aadmi Party chief or as chief minister or these things, Arvind Kejriwal was a well-established social activist that point of time. Okay, because he had his own NGO, he was working relentlessly with people on the anti-corruption movement. Also, he was there for a long time, so he was a very credible face. The time we are talking about. At the same time, Anna Hazare was also, in terms of anti-corruption movement, was a very popular face that point of time before India Against Corruption, because anti-corruption movements were happening in different pockets of India. When it was happening in Maharashtra, Annaji was there. When it was happening in Delhi, Mr. Kejriwal was there. There were many other people who were there during this protest, right? So why Mr. Kejriwal was like fundamentally against the fact that if Mr. Like Anna Hazare becomes the face of uh, of the movement, what the problems can be. There are several people who have researched, talked about it. The insiders have talked about it, and what I gathered is that the main problem was Anna was very egoistic as a person. Okay, and he was also a kind of a person who is what we call like adamant in several issues, and that is why Kejriwal was a bit reluctant about and also you can say skeptical about taking him and making him the face of the Andolan. But then how the things played out, then he became the face. At the end of the day, he became the face. And that point of time, though Mr. Kejriwal reached out to Baba Ramdev, Sri Ravi Shankar, etc., but those things did not work out. So that is
Right.
why Anna Hazare came into the picture, and their relationship, as far as their relationship is concerned, from the beginning, it was not that from the very beginning there was any crack or there was any kind of problem. Of course, there were disagreements, agreements, etc. Things were there, but as in the book also I've mentioned, the disagreement part and the clashes started to surface much later. But their relationship, as far as the Andolan is concerned, as far as the movement is concerned, was very strong, and they reciprocated each other, and they listened to each other, and they worked together from the beginning. The problem started happening much later, as in the book also, as I have pressed, that the problem started beginning much later. Yes.
Right. Let's move on to the role of the RSS, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, in this movement. You go on to detail some of the events at the time. In April 2011, you write that Kejriwal met RSS functionaries, including K.S. Govindacharya, to garner support for the India Against Corruption movement. You write that after the meeting, it was clear that the RSS would provide ground support, the mobilization for the movement on ground to have people, and the IAC did gain momentum after this. You also go on to write that, contrary to what Kejriwal was thinking, a section of leaders in the India Against Corruption movement, including the likes of Yogendra Yadav, believed that they were not comfortable with the idea of having the RSS on board or any kind of association with that. And eventually, we know how that RSS IAC association happened and all of that. Tell us more about the role of the RSS in that. Was it just ground support, or like many have been saying, and including those who were part of the movement, that the RSS role was something more than just ground support mobilization, and it was in a larger sense part of a political plan that they had in mind at the time. So, can you delve more into that bit?
Yes. There are there are few things here. Now, as let's start with the fact, RSS, like Rashtra Swayamsevak Sangh, it is their 100th year, which is going on. RSS always takes a very long view of anything. Okay, it's not that whenever they are engaged with something, they are immediately looking for a political benefit, right? For example, I will give you a completely different example. I belong from West Bengal, Kolkata. I'm from Kolkata, West Bengal. So RSS, when the BJP, the Bharatiya Janata Party in West Bengal, was in alliance with Mamata Banerjee was part of NDA, etc. Then also RSS was working in Bengal. Okay, in different parts of Bengal, in the tribal places, etc. They were working, but they were not looking for a political advantage immediately. But when Mr. Modi came in power and Mamta versus Modi narrative started to play out, etc., now they are backing the BJP in a way so that they can win the elections in every possible way. BJP, the RSS is supporting. In terms of Arvind Kejriwal, the Anna movement, and RSS, what the interesting thing is, you talked about Mr. Govindacharya, right? There is an interview to the Hindus political editor, Nistula Hebbarji. So Govindacharya ji gave a interview to her that point of time. I think in Economic Times, if I'm not wrong, and he stated this, that I met Kejriwal and I said this thing. What RSS was trying to do, RSS was looking at the things in a very larger view, on a long view, that there is the corruption is an issue which was really, really weakening the Congress party, the UP at that point of time. The RSS was providing support in different ways to different people. That is why Govindacharya ji said that everybody will work in their own way. They will not contradict with each other. Ramdev ji will continue in his own way. Sri Ravi Shankar will continue in his own way. Anna and Arvind will continue in their own way. They will not contradict. They will not go against each other. And the RSS, what they were doing, they were providing. You will remember, or maybe you have seen that Anna Andolan happened in a very large scale, massive scale. Okay, people used to stay there, people used to sleep there, eat there. Everything, like every arrangement was done. Okay, and it is widely believed that this kind of arrangements, the running of the langar, starting from the running of the langar, everywhere there were involvement of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. And in the book also, you will see that I have mentioned, and that the fundamentally Mr. Kejriwal, and that point of time Kiran Bedi, who later joined the BJP, she was also that was there, that they reached out to the Vivekananda International Foundation, the VIF, which was that point of time run by the National Security Advisor, right now the National Security Advisor, the Ajit Dovalji. He was there at that point of time. They were also working on the same issues of anti-corruption. So the RSS, what they were trying to do politically, if you ask me, what I believe, that politically what they were trying to do, one, to create a massive or the larger narrative against anti-corruption, trying to provide support to any person, to any popular person who is who is organizing any kind of movement in that particular issue, so that you will remember when Mr. Modi was announced as the Prime Minister candidate, when the BJP started the 2014 Lok Sabha campaign, there also anti-corruption played a very important role in a political narrative. So in creation of this political narrative, using every other person who is present there was indeed RSS's view. And as far as what RSS wanted to do, as far as Mr. Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, they, as I have mentioned in the book, what they were trying to do, they were trying to increase their protest to a massive scale. Okay, and without support of an organization like RSS or this kind of an organization, it was never possible to make it in that scale. Now, last point, as we can say that whether RSS was in the decision-making role within the Anna Andolan or not. There has been different discussions, debates on this, but in my understanding, what I found out from the insiders, that RSS was very much there, but they were not in the decision making process. They were out of the decision making process, but they were very much visible. And that is why Prashant Bhushanji, then I have mentioned Yogendra ji, they protested against it. That this kind of visual optics of presence of support of Baba Ramdev, Sri Ravi Shankar is not sending a good message. There were huge posters, cutouts of these people in India Against Corruption movement that point of time, which got the clash between this. That is the beginning of the clash between the different sections of the like the sections of Yogendra Yadav and Arvind Kejriwal, etc. Those kind of clashes started beginning. Yes.
Right. Let's shift focus to the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress. From the very beginning, data after data points have shown that the Aam Aadmi Party's electoral success, their victories, have come at the cost of the Congress. The Congress vote bank has shifted in several ways to the Aam Aadmi Party, and that has contributed to the Aam Aadmi Party's victory in Delhi, or even Punjab for that matter. Even in fact, other states where they haven't won, but they've cut some votes here and there. Now, you write that in 2019, it was Kejriwal's decision to pursue an alliance with the Congress, because that is when some of their internal surveys, I think, showed that they had a more probability of winning if they allied with the Congress. Of course, that did not happen. And later on, Sheila Dikshit also rubbished any sort of talks and refused to entertain Arvind Kejriwal, because it was him who had beat her in the first place in 2013. Currently, both parties are in the India alliance. Yet you see this, and this has been going on for a while, the whole tussle of should or will Congress and AAP come together. There's some bad blood, then they come together for some time. It's pretty on a very tentative footing. Why do you think there is this distrust between the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party?
Right. So, a few things. The first thing which I would like to just maybe you missed it. That one thing is that Mr. Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party, they have recently announced, I think last month, that they are not anymore part of the India Alliance or the India Alliance. What that alliance means, that the opposition alliance, they are not anymore part of it. They have officially announced it. Now, coming to the issue of that the what I will say in a very simpler fashion, that both in Delhi and in terms of in Punjab, I'm not going into the other states as of now. Any alliance between Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party cannot happen. It on the ground it cannot happen. It happened in 2024 Lok Sabha election. It happened that they were together. They gave they gave candidates together. I think several candidates. Kanhaiya was a candidate, and many other candidates were the joint candidates. Have you ever seen that Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who is now campaigning rigorously in Bihar, campaigned for Kanhaiya Kumar, okay, or campaigned for any of the joint candidates of the India Alliance in Delhi before 2024 Lok Sabha election? He didn't. Uh, did No top leaders of the Congress party did it. Kejriwal, he was in jail. He came out, I think, in the last few like weeks. He campaigned for like both the candidates, etc. But the Congress party did not campaign because in if you if you are in Delhi, if you go to the Congress, like in Northeast Delhi, in places where Congress was very strong, the entire the families, the supporters, the booths, everything was Congress. Then they have become Aam Aadmi Party, right? Now, if suppose I'm in a neighborhood, like all of us, like 10 families, we were part of the Congress. We were Congress supporters. Now, among us, 7 families have become Aam Aadmi Party supporters. 3 families have not changed, right? The 3 families, they have been Congress supporters. They have worked for the Congress. There is no presence of the Congress, suffered because of the Aam Aadmi Party, everything they have faced. Now, suddenly, there is an alliance between Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress. These families, these people are supposed to campaign for Arvind Kejriwal, who finished their livelihood, who finished their political ambitions, everything. How will they do that? So on the ground, it's never possible. And one of the very fundamental reasons behind the fact that the Aam Aadmi Party Congress alliance did not win a single seat in 2024 Lok Sabha election is also this, because the on the ground the support did not work in this way. Okay. Now coming to the fact that in the national level, in Punjab, it's absolutely not possible. There is any alliance is absolutely not possible. You will see if you take if you read newspaper of yesterday's newspaper, in Indian Express covered it. I think in the city pages, the main story was that Kejriwal has said that ED and CBI, they have a lot of
Yes.
evidence against Rahul Gandhi in the National Herald case. But has they arrested Mr. Gandhi? No, they haven't. Why? Because there is some kind of understanding between them. Okay, so this is the kind of things happen. Now, I will just say a very simple thing at this stage, because two things. Act one is Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party's survival in Delhi, in Punjab, etc. Okay, and there is also another fact: national survival. Nationally, it's a national party now, Aam Aadmi Party. Nationally, they will also have to survive. They cannot say. So that is why you will say when Rahul Gandhi came up with the idea that the vote chori has happened. Okay, in that meeting, when all opposition leaders, there was a dinner at Rahul's place, all the opposition party leaders were there. He the day he did the press conference, then he again showed the same kind of PPT to the opposition leaders. Sanjay Singh was not there. The Aam Aadmi Party was not present in the meeting. But when the protest started happening, vote chori, then Aam Aadmi Party participated in all these protests. Okay, so
which is why, just to interject, which is why I did not mention the initial India alliance bit when the Aam Aadmi Party said we are not part of the India bloc, because there's so much confusion. You say you are not part of it, yet you are attending the dinner, yet you are participating in the protest that the joint opposition is taking. But then, assuming, sir, like you said, that a practical alliance is not possible between Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, and you referred to Mr. Kejriwal's recent statement where he referred to the National Herald case, saying we were arrested for whatever charges, but the Gandhis weren't. Doesn't that invite, and that's the thing that Kejriwal often gets, isn't he becoming the B team of the Bharatiya Janata Party in a way?
now, see, as political observers, or like, we should not, I believe that we should not go into this A team, B team things. Okay, these things are very like, I don't know how these things are said, but one thing is, if you see Arvind Kejriwal, some of the things I can say what I have seen. Okay, Arvind Kejriwal and his politics is kind of a his politics is that we are everywhere. Okay, it's all over the place, and this is because, in book also, and I think once upon a time it was the strength of the Aam Aadmi Party, that the Aam Aadmi Party does not have any ideology. Okay, does not have any ideology. Okay. Like, just for example, I'm saying, okay, that Samajwadi Party. You like Samajwadi Party, you do not like Samajwadi Party. You know that Yadav credentials, etc. You know all these things. But when it comes to the stand on secularism of Samajwadi Party, or per se in Bihar, the RJD, the secular credential of Lalu Prasad Yadav, the secular credential of Mulayam Singh Yadav are somewhere not questionable, right? Because of their history, their ideology, the way they have come into the politics, their politics whatsoever. Now, Arvind Kejriwal never had this kind of issues because his politics. So there was a flexibility earlier. There was no political ideological baggage. But now what has happened? They are, and which is also a very uh, important part of my book. I have said that there is an opportunism within Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal, when they felt that we should not, we need the vote of the Hindus. Okay, if because you know that in Delhi there is a floating vote share. Okay, which is mostly of the Hindus. If we can get their support. So then he suddenly said that, okay, let us put a picture of Ganesha and Lakshmi in our notes, etc. Okay, so this kind of stands he has taken. This kind of stands he has taken. He he never raised his voice on the issues of atrocities against Muslims, right? So in this way, I don't know whether Aam Aadmi Party is a B team of uh, BJP or not. But one thing I can say, that till today, fighting against BJP, the Aam Aadmi Party, in terms of their ideologically, they could not position themselves something different from the BJP yet. They failed to do that. Maybe they believe it, but they could not establish that.
Right. In fact, just to quote from your book, when you posed this question, what is the ideology of the Aam Aadmi Party? When you posed this question to a close aide of Kejriwal, he told you that AAP is neither left or right of center. Their ideology is Jantaism. And one can get it. Their whole sort of model has been around education, healthcare, Revdi as it's been called.
Free
But
deals.
on the other hand, like you mentioned, that after the Delhi riots in 2020, the Aam Aadmi Party, it was election time. The Aam Aadmi Party consciously decided to stay away from taking a stance on this, saying that they will focus on development instead. But how does one justify this ideology? But you call it flexibility. Won't it be right to call it opportunism as well? Because you are then sort of deciding selectively with your strategic silence on what issues to weigh in and what issues to not. Wouldn't that be opportunism on part of Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party?
Yes, yes, absolutely opportunism. Absolutely opportunism. What I said flexibility, I just wanted to say that earlier when the party started, it was their advantage that they did not have a ideology. Okay, they had that flexibility, but what they did not work on that aspect, and they became with time they became uh, opportunistic. They became opportunistic. Now, the 2020 Delhi riot, the riot you are talking about, if in if I'm not wrong, in February the election concluded and Mr. Kejriwal became the chief minister of Delhi. Okay, for the third time that time. And within weeks of he becoming the chief minister, I think the swearing-in ceremony has not happened yet, or anything like it was very short period at that point of time. The riot began. During the riot, what he did, he just tweeted one thing that I am everybody should maintain peace, and I'm in touch with the LG. I'm in touch with the LG and all these things he said. Okay, but he did not go to the riot affected areas. Rahul Gandhi went there. Rahul Gandhi went there. And see, my what I have realized is that Mr. Kejriwal, what in terms of Delhi, see, this politics, what we are talking about, that the Hindu-Muslim polarization politics, right? This politics is not very important in Punjab. Punjab's religious politics is a bit different. Right? This issue was important in Delhi. But in Delhi, Mr. Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party, I can say that they failed to take a stand on the atrocities against the Muslims, against the minorities, not once, again and again. They maintained silence on these issues. They are
And
completely,
they feared that if they took a stance, they would alienate the Hindu voter, and hence they wanted to maintain a balance, and hence they were walking that tightrope.
and that happened. If you cannot now. This is my personal opinion. Okay, like uh, like if you are using an iPhone. Okay, if you are using an iPhone and you Apple for iPhone is the standard. You cannot copy the first copy, second copy of iPhone, the things which are which you can buy from black market, etc. Those
Mm.
kind of things people do not need. Right. So there is a brand. When it comes to Hindutva, the BJP is the brand. You cannot be like a bit like BJP. Okay. A bit Hindutva. Like I follow a kind of soft Hindutva. This kind of things people say about Arvind Kejriwal. No, I really don't understand this. And in this book, I have raised the question again and again that if you want to become, if Arvind Kejriwal, if the Aam Aadmi Party wants to become an alternative to the BJP, okay, many times he said that, okay, Congress is not the alternative, Aam Aadmi Party can become the only alternative and all these things. So if you really want to become, can you become an alternative in politics in India when you do not have a stand on atrocities against Muslims? Okay, in Shine Bagh, they were completely silent. In this book also I've said. Okay.
Yes.
In case of CAA, NRC, they made their own theories of like absurd. If you, I have quoted also somewhere, like they said that okay, CA is something. I think Mr. Kejriwal said it. CA is something which will at the end of the day affect the Hindus. Okay,
Yes.
this is something anti-Hindu. He came up with a theory. Okay, and different times she has given different kind of statements. Uh, So
Hmm.
this part of his politics is a bit opportunistic, is a bit confusing, and for this he suffered in this election in 2025 Delhi Assembly election. He suffered because you will see that any place in Northeast Delhi, I'm forgot at this point. I'm unable to tell you the constituency. There is a Northeast Delhi constituency which is Muslim populated, but where the BJP became BJP has an MLA now. Okay,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
it's a very popular constituency. The name is not coming in my mind.
Hmm.
BJP won. How? Because the Muslim vote, what happened? The Muslim vote got cut within the Aam Aadmi Party. Then there was I think AIM supported candidates. There was independent candidates. The Muslim votes got divided, and in between, what happened? The BJP candidate won from the
Right.
Muslim majority area. So these issues happened with the Aam Aadmi Party. This is a bit unfortunate, but
Right. Let's delve more into Kejriwal, the politician. When you would say he's come through as a shrewd politician, because one has to give credit to him. His party won their very first elections in 2013. They started off with a bang. They've won 3 terms on the trot: 2013, 15, 20. They've won another state as well. So one of the most successful political startups in a way. The other thing I want to focus on Kejriwal, because he's become the power center of the Aam Aadmi Party. He to AAP is what Mr. Modi is to BJP, what the Gandhi family is to the Congress. In fact, you write that over the years, Aam Aadmi Party's vision of decentralization has morphed dramatically. At the heart of this transformation is Kejriwal, whose leadership style has increasingly centralized the party's power around him. Today, the once prominent idea of decentralization seems more like an illusion, as Kejriwal's influence over the party has overshadowed its founding principles. The AAP's metamorphosis from a collective force to a personality driven party has become glaringly apparent, with Kejriwal emerging as the sole power center. You combine the Kejriwal, the politician, with all the things that you just said, it's clear that the Aam Aadmi Party has moved away from what it was, and now it's just become another mainstream political party. You'd think that AAP has lost that USP that it had in the initial years, which we are now seeing that it is deteriorating as a political brand, because it is clearly strayed away from the initial promises it made, with Kejriwal being the power center and everything revolves around. And he went to jail. You see that the party slightly seems to be in trouble because your convener is behind bars, your top 4 5 leaders are behind bars. Do you think that the fact that they've deviated from their principles has also caused their downfall, as we are seeing right now?
okay. Now there are different aspects of the question. I will try to break and answer it. Okay. Firstly, from my side, I would like to make it very clear that at this stage, when we are talking here in 2025, Aam Aadmi Party is just like any other political party of India, any other political party. There is no difference between any political party or the Aam Aadmi Party. It's just like maybe they came. The irony is they came to change the politics. Okay, they came because okay, बदलने के लिए आए हैं राजनीति को बदलने
Hmm.
के लिए आए हैं.
From the muffler and the Wagoner to now the Sheesh Mahal.
Yeah, right. So बदलने के लिए आए हैं. But what
Hmm.
happened? They came to change the politics, but politics changed them. Okay. Now
Right.
the politics has completely changed them. Now I will only say that this is the power of Indian politics. Now now coming to the fact that uh, the issue of centralization or decentralization, if you
Hmm.
check the journey of like not only about my book, in general knowledge also, if you check the journey of the Aam Aadmi Party, you will see that the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal got rid of any of the leaders who could have overshadowed Mr. Kejriwal. Okay, I'm not saying it is only about ideological thing, like because Prashant Bhushan or Yogendra Yadav comes from a different kind of an ideology. That's why it happened, right? Take, for example, Kumar Vishwas, the poet Kumar
Mm.
Vishwas. His kind of ideological leaning and where the kind of politics Aam Aadmi Party has been doing is also kind of same. Both are right-leaning politics, kind of a right-leaning politics. But they got rid of Kumar Vishwas also because he had the capability to overshadow uh, you know, Arvind Kejriwal. So this is one thing which has played out several times within the
Mm.
about the decentralization. Now coming to the fact that, as I told you, just we agreed on the one point that the politics changed them, and this is Indian politics. Indian politics has become more and more, you will see, that cult-centric politics. Okay,
Mm.
the a person-centric politics everywhere now you see. Okay, so it's a family. That's why the family-oriented politics, all these issues also come now. In terms of BJP, BJP is a very organizational based party, right? Very organization based party. But when Mr. Modi and Amit Shah became like key decision makers of the party, you will see that the structure has changed. They are getting rid of people who can overshadow even within states. You will, I can give you several examples. You also know, for example, in
Yes.
Rajasthan, there is a very top, uh, like tall BJP leader, Vasundhara Raje,
Mm.
right? They got rid of her. Why? Because she had the capability to challenge the central leadership. In Karnataka, Mr. Yedurappa, very tall leader of the BJP. They got rid of him. Why? Because he can challenge. You will see that in other states also. Madhya
Mm.
Pradesh, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Haryana, Manohar Lal Khattar, they have brought these people to the central government and not in states, so that states cannot overpower the center. Or so this is happening in every political party, and this kind of politics also affected the Aam Aadmi Party, and it has more and more become all about Arvind Kejriwal. If you are an yes man of if you are an yes man, it's great. Uh, if you are not an yes man, then fair. Okay. Now, if you are a kind of a man who will question, okay, then there are several examples and about there are several questions. What happened to the MP of Rajya Sabha MP of the Aam Aadmi Party, the lady MP Swati Maliwal?
Swati Maliwal, yeah.
Okay. Yes, there are several questions there. Okay. Right. So this kind of questions will be there. And if you are an yes man, if you become an yes man, then you will be within that coterie. You will have to you will be like that. Right? So that is why on the beginning I said that there is no difference between Aam Aadmi Party and any other party. This is the same thing which happens in Congress. If you question Mr. Gandhi, then you will become a person like Jyotiraditya Scindia, like Rahul Gandhi. If you question him, then your situation will be like Jyotiraditya Scindia. You will have to leave the party and join the BJP, or you will become a person like maybe some like some lawyer advocate
Yes.
who will leave the party and become independent candidate. Okay, so like this kind of things happen now. Now, as far as Kejriwal as a politician is concerned, the vision, as far as the policy vision of Mr. Kejriwal is concerned, I believe in Delhi, the policy vision of Mr. Kejriwal was path-breaking and remarkable as a politician. And also, he's a very policy-centric. He was, when he started, he was a very policy-centric man. And sometimes he says also, you will see that मैं politician नहीं हूँ. Okay. Uh, so he understood policies, and that is why the education policy, okay, which really changed the situation of the schools of government schools, the mohalla clinic, the
Hmm.
mohalla clinic policy, all these policies were really really good, and that is why you will see that mohalla clinic is a kind of a policy which is being copied in several other states. Several other states. Take the policy like free bus travel for
Bus travel
women.
for women. Yeah.
Many Congress ruled states are following the same. The reverie, what the BJP says, the free bijli.
Hmm.
The BJP states are giving free bijli also now. The BJP ruled states are also now giving free bijli. Okay,
But is it
so
sustainable, sir? It just came on top of my mind. You mentioned this. He started off free bijli, free this, free that. Was that a sustainable model of governance as far as, if you look at it economically, was concerned, or was it just done keeping in mind short-term electoral gains, which Arvind Kejriwal has done, which the BJP has also done? Let's be very clear on that front. But do you think that that style of politics that has been associated, because like you see, there's no clear ideological ground as such, it is just this welfare that will define what the Aam Aadmi Party stands for, what Kejriwal stands for? Do you think that was just looking at short-term political gains to build that sort of brand of Aam Aadmi Party?
now I what you said, that economically sustainable or not, I think that is something a person who is well versed with economy will be able to answer it. What I understand politically is that uh, all this kind of free schemes, the freebie schemes, these are populist in nature. They indeed affect the economy of a state. Okay, they pulled it off. What I believe, in Delhi, they pulled it off because if you Delhi is a Delhi is a very rich state in terms of financially, if you see. Okay, you take the example of Punjab. Take the example of Punjab. They promised a lot of things. They also promised that they will give 1,000 rupees, if I'm not wrong, to the woman, uh, every woman if they come to power. Has they been able to launch the scheme yet? I don't think so. They haven't yet been able to
Yeah.
launch the scheme. Why? Because of the financial burden. Now, why is Punjab under financial burden? First of all, Punjab was under financial burden for a long time, earlier from Congress time also. But then there are a number of freebies they have already started, which is also putting pressure on the financial situation of Punjab. And this is happening everywhere. You take example, we are talking about Aam Aadmi Party, Punjab, Delhi. Take the example of West Bengal government. West Bengal government under Mamata Banerjee led Trinamool Congress. You know that in Durga Puja is a very big festival in West Bengal.
Yes.
So she gives like a good amount of money, over 1 lakh rupees, to all the clubs who organize the Durga Puja across Bengal. Okay, over 1 lakh rupees to every club. Okay, but the government officials are on the streets of Bengal protesting, claiming that we are not getting dearness alliances properly. And
Hmm.
in the Supreme Court, the government is saying that okay, we will not be able to give it because then the government will collapse. The kind of financial pressure they are giving a bit of DA, but they cannot increase it the way the petitioners are claiming to, the way the central government gives, because then the financial burden will be severe and the state finance will collapse. Why is it happening? This is because there are so many freebies. So this kind of welfare populist kind of things, they give you a kind of political benefit, as you just rightly mentioned, for the time being, because same kind of schemes were there in 2025 assembly election also. But why didn't people
Yes.
vote for those same kind of schemes? The free Bijli, then also the people will get the free Bijli. He also said that he will give money to the woman if
Yes.
he wins again. But people did not buy it, right? So, of course, it gives a kind of a boost, political boost, but also what I feel, and more elections should be studied carefully, then we will understand it better, that this kind of effects are short-lived.
Yes.
So,
On that note, let's come to the end of this interview. The final question, a very concise and very thorough book on the Aam Aadmi Party, how it began. Let's look at the future. Of course, no one can predict it, but we can sort of gauge at this point while we are talking. The Aam Aadmi Party is out of power in Delhi. They've been decimated by the BJP. Clearly, something that did not go right as far as Arvind Kejriwal and AAP was concerned, because Delhiites have seen it, have seen him, his style of governance, his run-ins with the LGs, and his style of working. It's clear that there's something wrong that went that wasn't right with Kejriwal this time. Punjab is another state that is going to polls. Some reports on the ground suggest that Bhagwant Mann is not in the best of positions. His government is not in the best of positions. You have just the other day, you had another leader of the Aam Aadmi Party being raided by the ED. Clearly, one of their lowest points. If you just look at their last 15-year odd journey, going forward, now we also had that back and forth on whether they're part of the India bloc or not. Amidst all of this, where do you see the Aam Aadmi Party going from now? What are the immediate crises that they face now that they'll have to address? And going forward, their role in not just Delhi politics, because like Kejriwal has been positioning himself as the alternative to Modi in national politics. But where do you see all of this, the Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal, their style of politics in the long run?
okay. So, uh, first thing first, I think the Arvind Kejriwal should utter one thing 3 times, that is Delhi, Delhi, Delhi. Okay? Delhi is the base of the Aam Aadmi Party. Leaving Delhi is not the right thing for the Aam Aadmi Party. All the political leaders, all the top leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party are now camped in Punjab. The top leadership is not working in Delhi anymore. Of course, Atishi ji is there as the leader of opposition, sort of is looking after the party, but that's all. Arvind Kejriwal has, after the defeat, as if my reading is not wrong, after the defeat of the Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal has not addressed the people of Delhi, has not said anything that, okay, you voted for me. He said that it's Agni Pariksha of him. Okay, the 2025 election is his Agni Pariksha. So people voted for him or against him. So he should address the people. He has not. So leaving Delhi is not a good option. Okay. Secondly, Punjab, very important state. Maybe it looks like what things are here today in the 2000, if I'm not wrong, 2027 mein Punjab
Yes.
election hai. Maybe Arvind, the Aam Aadmi Party will again win Punjab. There is high chance there is an advantageous position. They
Okay.
can win, but at the same time, Punjab, Pun, you have seen what happened with the Captain Amarinder Singh, right? Now, Punjab's politics is very different. Means you are not allowing your party leaders to grow in Punjab. You are not allowing limelight to your own leaders, grassroots leaders of Punjab. Now, Mr. Chima is a very popular leader. He's a very popular leader. He was a leader. Earlier also, I think he was leader of opposition when when the Aam Aadmi Party was
Mm.
in the opposition space. He was that popular leader, but nobody knows. So you will have to give prominence to autonomy to your Punjab leadership. You cannot go there. You cannot. There was somebody like in Twitter, you know the kind of things happen. Okay. In
Mm.
Twitter, you know the kind of things happen. Somebody shared a picture that Arvind Kejriwal is leading a road show in Punjab, and where the security people stands, there Mr. Bhagwant Maan is standing.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I do not know whether it's a doctored image, whether it's maybe for some reason, for some time, maybe it happened. I'm not going there. But are you really giving that prominence to Bhagwant Mann? Look at the departments of Punjab, just for our understanding. I'm requesting the people who are watching this after this show, just go and check. There are different organized autonomous boards, which are under start pollution from pollution to other boards of Punjab, which are now leading by Delhi, Kejriwal's people from Delhi, not by people of Punjab. So if you start doing this kind of politics with Punjab, then there will be one day or the other, there will be revolt from within. And this kind of history in the Punjab chapter I have written, Aam Aadmi Party has
Yes.
already has a history of defection, etc. in Punjab. So that is Punjab.
Yes.
So they will have to give autonomy to Punjab. And the third thing is, at this stage, there is no vision of Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party in terms of national expansion. Okay, there is no vision. So I think it's better, like, of course, in my perspective, I think it's better for the Aam Aadmi Party to focus back on Delhi. Focus back on Delhi. And
Right.
Kejriwal is needed in Delhi. That
Right.
is what my
So you think these
view
are the
is.
immediate challenges?
Yes, as I repeatedly am saying, as I am coming from, like, forget about West Bengal. That's go to check the Samajwadi Party, the Uttar Pradesh. The way Akhilesh is vocal, Akhilesh has become the leader of opposition in the Uttar Pradesh Assembly. Now he's an MP. He's continuously working in Uttar Pradesh and outside Uttar Pradesh against the BJP. Look at Tejasvi. He's leading his party as the leader of opposition inside the Delhi Assembly, inside the Bihar Assembly.
Bihar Assembly. So
If
being a regional leader would be in Kejriwal's interest than have the kind of ambitions, national ambitions, that he's been harboring for the last 11 years. And you think they need to get their act right, give autonomy to your state units, focus on Delhi, and be that regional force
regional
in Delhi.
And understand that who you are. You are a leader of Delhi. So the people of Delhi needs you.
Right.
People of
Just
Delhi need
just a Googie before we end. It just hit my mind. You've mentioned briefly on whether Manish Sisodia could have been the chief minister of Delhi. So you expect that Kejriwal Sisodia dynamic to change because now they're out of power. They don't have any constitutional post with them. Do you see that change of guard happening, or it's just Arvind Kejriwal all the way, and Sisodia will be the deputy? Just a googly that I thought I'll put across.
So my answer to that is that number one, that anything can happen in politics. Okay. And the power family of Maharashtra has told us that anything is possible in politics. Now, the other answer to is that recently, that is to you and to the viewers, recently a controversy came up regarding a statement made by Mr. Manish Sisodia in Punjab, and the Aam Aadmi Party, in a very unlikely fashion, distanced themselves from the statement. Okay, now you read between the lines, you read it and interpret it in your way, how you see it.
Right. Okay. So it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. And that's for later. But sir, thank you so much for taking out the time. It's been almost an hour since we've been speaking. To our audience, you can get your hands on this book. It's available online. You go to your nearest bookstore, you'll find it there. It's I think a very crisp and clear and a fast-paced guide if you want to understand what the Aam Aadmi Party is, and it comes through very clearly from an objective lens, not to either glorify or antagonize the Aam Aadmi Party, but just a real picture. Mr. Sayantan Ghosh, thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking with us.
Thank you so much.